Hello and welcome to the lesson. So today in this lesson I'm going to show you how to play Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, which is an absolutely classic song. I think you're really going to enjoy playing it. And it's quite simple to learn, so that means it's suitable for beginners if you haven't been playing guitar long. So I'm going to show you all the power chords for the main riff, but I'm also going to show you some extra bits like the lead solo as well. So we're going to learn the whole song in this lesson. So the first thing I'm going to teach you how to play in this lesson is this main riff, which starts off like this. And then what they do, they turn the distortion on. So what you're probably going to need is either an effects pedal, or some amplifiers have a button that you can press or a knob that you can turn up to create this distorted sound like this. So I'm going to show you all that, but I'm also going to show you the solo, which sounds like this. Alright, so enough talking, let's begin. Now in this song we're going to use power chords to play the main riff. So I'm sure you're familiar with power chords, but I'm going to explain it to you anyway. And I'm going to show you this riff in three sections. First, I'm going to show you the chord positions. Then I'm going to show you the basic strumming pattern of how to play them. But then thirdly, I'm going to show you the advanced strumming pattern, which will really make it sound like it does off of the album, all right? So let's begin. We're going to use the first power chord with our first finger on the 6th string at fret 1. And I'm going to ask you to use your little finger to hold down the 5th and the 4th string, both at fret 3. Now, some people like to use their 3rd finger, and if you want to do that, that's fine. But I find that my little finger just feels more comfortable. And you can stop the video and take a look at the chord box next to me if you just want to check that. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is to use your plectrum to strum strings 6, 5 and 4. Like that, all right? So try not to strum all the strings accidentally, you know, because otherwise it will end up sounding like this. And that'll be horrible. So make sure you're just strumming strings 6, 5 and 4. Excellent, well done. So like I said, first I'm just going to show you the chord shapes, and in a minute I'll show you how to strum them. So once you've played your power chord at fret 1, what I want you to do is to move this power chord up. So the first finger is now on fret 6, that's the root note. And the little finger, of course, is still on the 5th and 4th string, but this time it's at fret 8. Because remember, with power chords, they're always the same. You just move them around, and that's exactly what we're doing. So, 6th string at fret 6, 5th and 4th string both at fret 8. Just give that a pluck. Excellent. So once we've done that chord, we're going to move our root note back to fret 4, and the little fingers across strings 5 and 4 at fret 6 this time. Just give that a pluck. Excellent. And now lastly, we're going to move this power chord so the root note is on the 6th string at fret 9, and the little finger is across strings 5 and 4, both at fret 11. Good. So what we've got there now is 4 chords, starting on fret 1, fret 6, fret 4, and fret 9. Excellent. So if you need to pause the video and just practice those and make sure you really know them, then I encourage you to do that. So part 2, I'm going to show you how to strum them with a basic strumming pattern. So starting with this first power chord at fret 1, what I want you to do is strum like this. And what that is, I'm using the plectrum to strum down, up, down. And you can look at the tab at the bottom of the screen to see exactly what I've showed you, how to strum it down and up. So you can refer to that as we move along. So what I want you to do now is move up to the next chord, which you probably know by now is fret 6, and the little finger on fret 8. And you're going to strum down, down, up. So it's slightly different, okay? So now move on to the next power chord. So we're going to move to fret 4. And you're going to strum down, up, down again. And then move on to the last power chord up at fret 9, and you're going to strum down, down, up. Now, one thing I want to point out is to make sure that you are just strumming strings 6, 5 and 4. I really don't want you to strum all the strings because it'll sound nasty, all right? So look at the arrows on the tab and let's practice that in slow motion. So fret 1, down, up, down. Fret 6, down, down, up. Fret 4, down, up, down. Fret 9, down, down, up. Okay, let's have a go at that in slow motion. Excellent. You can pause the video and just practice that now. Right, so the next thing that I want to show you, once you're comfortable with playing that strumming pattern, is the advanced strumming pattern, because if you want to make it sound really cool at full speed, you're going to have to learn to do it like this. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to take what we've already learned, down, up, down, but we're going to do this. And it's like a muted sort of strum. And the way we're going to do that is you're going to release the pressure on the paracord. So you've still got the chord in place, but you're just touching the strings, you're not holding them down. So let me make this clear. If you hold the paracord down like normal and you give it a strum, it should sound like this. Okay? If you release the pressure, so you're just touching the strings gently, it will make a dead sound. So I encourage you to just practice that. And I want to point out that my first finger is laying across all the strings, and my little finger kind of is in a way as well, and they're just gently laying across those strings. And what happens is I could strum all the strings, and because my fingers are just gently touching them, it just creates a dead sound. So I want you to pause the video and just practice that now. So see if you can create that difference between holding the paracord down and then release the pressure just to create the dead note, and you should be able to do it like that. Okay, so that'll take a bit of practice. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with our regular strumming pattern, down, up, down, and then you're going to release the pressure, so you're just muting the strings, and you're going to strum down, up, down, up. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So it goes, and then, all right, you want to practice that a few times to really get the hang of it. Excellent, okay. So if we move on to the next chord, we're just going to play the regular pattern that we already learned, down, down, up, and that's it. But what we're going to do is move down to fret 4, and we're going to play the regular one, down, up, down. And then we're going to do the same as what we did just now. We're going to release the pressure and strum down, up as muted notes. Like that, okay? So it should sound like this. All right? And then we're going to finish up on fret 9 with just the regular strumming pattern, down, down, up. All right, I know that's quite a lot for me to explain and for you to listen to, but I think it should make sense if you just take your time and pause the video and look at the tab at the bottom of the screen and try and play exactly as I've shown you. You know, make sure that when I've told you to strum down, you strum down, and when I've told you to strum up, you strum up. And if you do exactly as I say, it should come out sounding wonderful when you learn to play it at full speed. So let me demonstrate that whole thing with all the advanced strumming techniques, and it should sound like this in slow motion. And I'll be honest with you, not many people know how to do that properly. You know, you see a lot of kids and a lot of people playing Smells Like Teen Spirit, and they don't know how to do that little chopping pattern. It ends up sounding a bit, you know, compromised. But what we've learned in this lesson, and if you follow what I say, it's going to sound wonderful when you play it at full speed. There you go. So the next thing you want to do once you've played it with no distortion, if you've got a distortion pedal or if you can press the button on the amp, do that now. All right, there you go. That's the main riff of the song. That's the bit you really wanted to learn, I think. So they play it twice without distortion, and they play it 4 times with distortion. And then they end up on these 2 notes for the verse. And it's really simple. That's while Kirk is singing the verse. And that's the middle finger on the 3rd string at fret 5. And also the 3rd finger on the 2nd string at fret 6. And you're just quite simply going to pluck the 3rd string and then the 2nd string. And leave those notes sustained for a long time. And you can see that I'm using vibrato just to wiggle the strings a little bit, and it just makes it sound cool. So you can practice that as well. And while the guitar is doing that, the bass player just carries on playing the root notes from the main riff. Excellent. Now what happens is it starts to build up into the chorus when he's singing hello, hello, or whatever the words are. I don't know what the words are really. But he puts the distortion on and plays those 2 notes like this. And it builds up and up and up, and then eventually they go back into the main riff. Now, I don't expect you to be able to play that perfectly straight away. It's perfectly normal that you should pause the video and practice it lots and lots in order to get it sounding smooth. When I first learned this song, it took me quite a few days, if not weeks, of steady practice in order to get that strumming pattern sounding really smooth. So be really patient with yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. I don't expect you to be able to play it by the end of this video, okay? That's just not normal, all right? So there's no pressure. Right, so once he's played the chorus, the main riff, 6 times. Yeah, he actually goes around that 6 times, and then they do this. Okay, that bit's quite fun to play. I'm going to turn the distortion off while I show it to you. So it's the power chord on fret 1, like what we started on, and you strum it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then move it up a fret, so the 6 strings at fret 2 and the little fingers on the 5th and 4th string at fret 4, and pluck it twice. So it should sound like this. And then what you're going to do is bend the 3rd string at fret 3. So use your 3rd finger to hold down the 3rd string at fret 3. Use these fingers on the same string to help push and bend it up. That might take a bit of practice, but I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. So it sounds like this. And then you go back to the 1st power chord, and then you go up to fret 6 on the power chord like this, and then move it back down to fret 4. Of course, when I say fret 6 and fret 4, I'm referring just to the 1st finger, the root note, okay? I hope that makes sense. So that section should sound like this in slow motion. All right, and at full speed with the distortion on, it's going to go. And then back into the verse. All right, so we've actually covered quite a lot so far. We've learned the main riff, the main chords. I've also showed you those funny little notes in the verse, and I showed you how to build up into the chorus. And then, of course, the chorus is the same as the main riff, and you play it around 6 times in the chorus, and then once you've done it 6 times, you play that little bit that we just learned a second ago, round twice. I know that's a lot to take in, but if you look at the PDF document that you got with this lesson, in that document it'll show you exactly what order to play all this in. So you don't need to worry about that. All you need to focus on in this video lesson is just learning each one of these sections, and then when you look at the PDF, you'll be able to see exactly what to play and when to play it, and the whole song should make perfect sense from start to finish. So the last thing I want to show you in this lesson is the solo, and it kicks ass. I love it. It's going to sound like this. All All right, so let's begin. It's the second string at fret 1, and then take your little finger and put it onto the second string at fret 4, and then play the first string at fret 1, and then play the third string at fret 1. Just pause the video and try that, so it should sound like this. Okay, now put the little finger back onto the second string at fret 4 and give it a pluck. But we're going to pluck it again and we're going to bend it. And you can see that I'm using all those fingers on the second string to help push. And you need to bend up and down. It's easier said than done, so you might need to practice that. So if we play it from the start, it should sound like this. And then play the second string at fret 2, and then play the second string at fret 1. Excellent. Let's keep going, and then in a minute I'll play it through in slow motion. So the next note is the second string at fret 2 again, and then back off to fret 1, and then the third string at fret 3, third string at fret 1. Let's keep going. It's the third string at fret 3, pluck it, and then pluck it again and bend up and down. Like that, all right? It's quite tricky to do that bend. And then the third string at fret 1, and then open. Okay, I don't expect you to remember it perfectly straight away. Take your time, look at the tab, and let's go through it in slow motion. So it's going to sound like this. Awesome. So let me show you that at a slightly faster speed. And do it again. And by the way, you don't have to use your little finger to do the bend, because most of the time people's little finger is the weakest finger. So get rid of your little finger and try doing the bend using your third finger, and use these other fingers to help push. And you might find that a little bit easier. So once you've done that whole pattern round twice, we're going to do this. That's where he's singing, hello, hello, is that the word? Is that what he sings? I don't know. Perhaps you can email me and tell me. Third string at fret 1, and then open. Do it again, and again, and then do it once more. But on that time, you do the open string on the end again, okay? Just look at the tab and you'll see what I mean. And then finish on the fourth string at fret 3. So it sounds like this. And he does that pattern 4 times, and that's the end of the solo, all right? So it's quite straightforward. So let me demonstrate the whole solo through in slow motion from start to finish. And again. And then 4 times. And finish on that last note on the 4th string at fret 3. And then they're back into another verse. All right, there you go. I've showed you all the sections to the song. It's quite a simple song, and to be perfectly honest with you, the most challenging thing in this song, unfortunately, is the main riff, because that strumming pattern takes quite a lot of practice. But I think if you practice it in a really slow motion, and you really follow the tab at the bottom of the screen and follow each one of those arrows, and make sure you're plucking down and up exactly how I've showed you to play it, then you should be able to make it sound fantastic. So just one last time, just before we finish the lesson, I'm going to show you that main riff in real slow motion, just to make sure you really understand it. It should sound like this. There you go. And it's okay to be moving your hand up whilst you're still muting the strings. You'll notice that I was doing this. I was doing that whilst I was moving to the next chord, and that's fine. There you go. I've explained everything in plenty of detail. That's everything you need to be able to play this song. Good luck. I hope you enjoy playing it, and I look forward to seeing you soon in one of the other video guitar lessons, and we can learn some more stuff together. Until then, best of luck. Bye-bye.